Don't get mad at us because we point out objective reality, like the fact that your fighter only got a title shot because he looks funny and gets fat sometimes. So Paddy the Baddy versus Ilia Topuria, the man who's beaten no one versus the man who beats everyone. And even though Paddy is probably gonna get turned into some funky European soup, at the very least there's some beef here to make it interesting. So we'll start off with Paddy the Baddy's coach going on submission radio and apparently saying a whole bunch of delusional shit. Let's get into it and see if that's the truth.
26 professional fights. Paddy's never left the cage with a black eye.
Right. What do you make it?
What? I completely got lost in his words. What the f was he talking about?
I think in 26 professional fights, Paddy's never left the cage with a black eye.
What is this, a Christmas story? Paddy's never left the cage with a black eye is what his girlfriend would say to her other girlfriends who are dating soccer players or some shit. Also, Paddy's UFC career has been manufactured all the way down to the syllables, so flexing the fact that the manufactured title run worked and that your fighter is still completely unscathed after, 7 fights now, is probably not the move in this situation. I think it's best to be quietly grateful, but let's press on.
Just for those people that are writing Paddy off, what are they overlooking about Paddy and what he's bringing into this Ilia Topuria fight, if this is the next fight that the UFC lock in?
Because most fans are casuals, that's the thing, and most of them don't.
So just a little PSA to Mr. Paul Rimmer. We're certainly not casuals. Most of us are so autistically focused on the sport that we'll sit through 15 minutes of the most boring interview ever just to see what Paddy's coach is up to. Don't get mad at us because we point out objective reality, like the fact that your fighter only got a title shot because he looks funny and gets fat sometimes. It has nothing to do with your brilliant coaching. In fact, that might be what has his panties in such a bunch. You look at Arman Sarukian's coach and it's like, if you see that guy walking out with your opponent, you sign the wrong contract. You look at fat, bald Willie Nelson over here, and his crowning achievement is a meme, and he knows damn well if Paddy gets dealt with the same way Ilia dealt with Charles, everything the internet's been saying about Paddy's phony career will be proven correct, and you're gonna take a corporate boot back into obscurity. We continue.
They don't actually look at what's going on a lot of the time. So I don't expect, casual fans to kind of understand the intricacies of what makes Paddy good or what makes this other person good or anything, that sort of stuff.
And I don't expect an experienced coach to be able to explain it to us in a way that makes sense. Asshole. There's nothing worse than somebody who tells you don't know what you're talking about and then doesn't inform you on the topic.
They'll be like, oh, Paddy will out-grapple Ilia. Okay, that's very vague. That's super, super vague. Ilia's going to knock Paddy out. Oh, is he? Okay, how is that going to happen? That's also vague. Do you know what I mean? People just make vague statements to other people that are like, oh yeah, I see what you mean there. But really...
Alright, well then how about you clear it up for us, guy who's supposedly got the information? You don't have to expose Paddy in the process, just give us a bit of your knowledge. Just sitting there telling us we don't know what we're watching when we're watching this. This is what we're watching. If this right here was Ilia Topuria's record, just imagine what Paddy's coach would be saying. If this guy would just take the mirror and turn it on himself.
What that fight looks like on the feet, because we saw so many improvements from Paddy. He looked really good against Michael Chandler, and like you said, a lot of people are like, he'll take, the way that he wins is if he takes Ilia Topuria's back, but on the feet, how would you see that the exchanges go against Ilia Topuria with Paddy Pimblett?
Alright, here we go. This guy who just shat on us for not having any idea how to analyze fights, he's gonna give us his expert opinion on how Paddy and Ilia's stand-up exchanges will go.
Well, obviously, I see them going in Paddy's favour, because otherwise we'd be training.
Boy, howdy, there's nothing vague about that. Can we rewind?
And to see what they want to see in a vague sort of view. They'd be like, oh, Paddy will out-grapple Ilia. Okay, that's very vague. That's like...
Oh, that is pretty vague. It's kind of like, what the
How would you see that the exchanges go against Ilia Topuria with Paddy Pimblett?
Well, obviously, I see them going in Paddy's favour, because otherwise we wouldn't be training the way that we train.
There's not even a joke to make there. There's nothing analytical about I see them going in Paddy's favor, and he's not covering for Paddy in some sort of strategic, I don't want to give away a secret kind of way. You're gonna tell us our opinions are vague and then spit that nonsense out. Okay.
Well, obviously, I see them going in Paddy's favour, because otherwise we wouldn't be training the way that we train to kind of take him out. But, I mean, for example, you can look at...
All right, maybe I prejudged him. He's going to give some examples. He's going to give us some pro-grade analytics. Let's see where he goes. I'll give him a chance to redeem himself.
I mean, for example, you can look at Paddy's last few fights to see that his distance management is like greatly improved. You can see that he hits a lot harder, and I've got to give a ton of credit to the person that probably doesn't get the most credit for that, which is Ellis Hampson from the gym. Ellis is like one of the best striking coaches in the world.
Once again, vague. Nothing about that. What did he say? Paddy hits harder and his distance management is greatly improved.
Technical skill in MMA. You think they do. They don't actually look at what's going on a lot of the time. So like I don't expect, like say, casual fans to kind of understand the intricacies of what makes Paddy good or what makes this other person good or anything that sort of stuff. They just kind of see what they want to see in a vague sort of view. They'll be like, oh, distance management is like greatly improved.
There's no joke to make here.
A lot harder, and
he's doing it himself. All of our opinions are just vague, casual background noise. If only we knew the deep intricacies of how Paddy's distance management has improved and how Paddy hits harder. I mean, you gotta really be on the inside. You gotta be in the know to make statements like that. Sounds like every other opinion.
Paddy's last few fights to see that his distance management is like greatly improved. You can see that he hits a lot harder, and I've got to give a ton of credit to the person that probably doesn't get the most credit for that, which is Ellis Hampson from the gym. Ellis is like...
You're a cunt.
One of the best striking coaches in the world. He understands perfectly how to get the best out of Paddy and the things that need to be worked on, and we've been working very hard on him, and it's showing in all his fights. Everyone's saying, how can he improve so quick? How does he get better so quick? Well, like I say, you know...
He gets better so quick and he improves so quick because he's got such a knowledgeable coach. That's what I say.
Workers in the sport. Don't let the little bit of weight gain after a big fight make what you think about him. All fighters do that. Just Paddy's more public than a lot of the other fighters, so you see it more.
Is it just me, or has he kind of...
I could give a shit less if Paddy gets fat in between fights. As long as he makes weight on fight night and it doesn't affect his performance, who gives a shit if he eats donuts? I'm not f***ing him.
No, Paddy's strong, but he has other physical attributes that you don't know about until you feel him. I'm not going to go into what they are here, but...
Gay?
I reckon Paddy's the sort of person where someone will...
Well, that was kind of a gay pause, too. That was awkward.
No, Paddy's strong, but he has other physical attributes that you don't know about until you feel him. I'm not going to go into what they are here, but... I reckon Paddy's the sort of person where someone will come to spar or fight him and be like, bah, I'm going to do this to him. And then when they're in there, like, wow, I couldn't do anything to him. He just was all over me. Okay, there's like different types of strength and people don't kind of understand that. You have like isometric strength, you have like just like raw muscle strength. And there's a lot of different types of strength that people have.
You're vague, but raw muscle strength is a strength type. Don't you ever forget it.
And it's not just weight strength, okay? Otherwise, the guy that...
Weight strength. Who could forget about weight strength? I've never heard such specifics.
Yeah, there's it's information. It's like I say, it's knowing what you're kind of looking for in terms of his weaknesses.
All right, I think we've got all the milk we're going to get from this dairy cow. So I thought I was just gonna get a couple yucks out of this guy's delusion, but that statement he made about all of our opinions being uninformed, while his expert analysis is three things. Number one, Paddy's never left the ring with a black eye. Number two, Paddy punches harder now. And number three, weight strength is a strength. This dude's not just delusional, he's also a and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy watching Ilya prove all of our casual, uninformed opinions right. And all this asshole is gonna have left is cloudy weather and fried candy bars.